We're gathered here today to commemorate the martyrdom of the great leader of our time, Sayyid Ali al-Hussein al-Khamenei, rahmatullahi alayh.
We might think this was an attack led by Zionist Jews, but the commander of their mission is the very one who was trying to prove that Adam was not worth prostrating to.
All right, folks, this is Harris Sultan. It makes sense for the dwindling loyalists of Khamenei's regime to mourn his death. What doesn't make sense is having people in our own liberal democracies, the countries that are at war with the Islamic Republic of Iran, within our borders, mourning his loss. This is like during World War II, people in the US, the UK, in Australia, mourning the death of Hitler. How does that make sense? How do we allow that? Have a look at this.
While millions around the world are celebrating the death of the Ayatollah, several Shia mosques across Sydney are now planning to honour the former Iranian leader with 3 days of mourning.
We are at war with Iran. The barbarians are no longer at the gate, they're inside the gate, and we have allowed it.
That has sparked outrage among politicians and the Jewish community, the Premier calling it atrocious.
To most, he was a cruel, oppressive leader, but at this prayer hall in Sydney's south, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is revered and now mourned.
Sadness. We lost one of our biggest scholars, Islamic scholars, religious scholar.
The Shiite.
What are they doing in Western countries? This is what I mean by letting in people who have incompatible values. They are anti-West people. Khamenei hated the West. Khamenei said death to England, death to America, death to Israel. ASIO, our own intelligence agency in Australia, also highlighted that IRGC's operatives were operating in these pro-Palestine protests causing disruption in Australia. And then at the same time, we are allowing these people to mourn the death of one of the worst mass murderers of our time. He was a tormentor not only of his own people, but he was a threat to all of our allies, including Australians themselves.
Centre, one of several across the city, openly inviting members to honour Iran's slain leader.
He was very well respected from everyone. And yeah, it's a loss.
Announcing 3 days of prayers to honour the martyrdom of His Eminence, the guardian jurist and supreme leader of the Islamic Revolution.
If evil had a face, I can't play you those videos here, what he did to his protesters. It is very important, guys. It's very important to know this is the character of that tyrant. I put him right next to Putin and Kim Jong-un, right next to each other. These three are one of the worst tyrants of our time. I'm not a fan of the Chinese system, but Xi Jinping is not murdering his people on that scale. He might be capable of that because all dictators and authoritarians are, but he hasn't gotten to that point yet. This is the reason why these Iranian people are celebrating. This is the reason why they're dancing. We don't usually see people celebrating the bombing of their own countries. This is happening in Iran because these people were sick and tired of the brutal tyranny of Ali Khamenei that we are allowing his loyalists to celebrate in our secular liberal democracies. I'm sure you remember New South Wales Premier, Chris Minns.
There's been some that have been agitating in the Parliament to nullify the laws, to remove them off the statute books. Think about what kind of toxic message that would send to the New South Wales community. And I think the advocates for those changes need to explain, what do they want people to have the right to say? What kind of racist abuse do they want to see or be able to lawfully see on the streets of Sydney? I recognise, and I've fully said from the beginning, that we don't have the same freedom of speech laws that they have in the United States. And the reason for that is that we want to hold together our multicultural community and have people live in peace, free from the kind of vilification and hatred that we do see around the world.
Who loves to say that, oh, we don't have American-style free speech, but he's using his free speech now to condemn Ali Khamenei, which I am condemning him too, but he's going against his philosophy. Why is he offending the Shia community of Australia?
The Premier outraged, saying the Ayatollah deserves nothing.
By any objective measure, the Ayatollah was evil, and I don't think that we should be mincing words about this.
Oh, so whenever you want, you can stop yourself from mincing words, but whenever we do it, it's hate speech. Right, got it.
Words about this. I think we can call the mourning of this tyrant atrocious, and that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Criticism too from Australia's Jewish community. Any Australian mosque or centre honouring Khamenei should immediately be subject to a criminal investigation.
Followed by a quick, swift deportation. We don't want your sectarian conflicts. We don't want your theology. We don't want your pathetic, violent, bloody politics in our countries. We don't want.
We cannot allow terrorists to be glorified in our country or for such actions to occur without consequence. Unapologetic Sheikh Kamal Muslimani says it's his religious right.
You know, it's a free, Australia is a free country.
No, it's not free enough to celebrate and mourn tyrants of your leader's caliber, Ali Khamenei. Now, guys, have you noticed that because we have allowed so many of these anti-Western elements or people inside our borders, that our alliances that were forged in blood are falling apart? They accused Trump for not coming to Europe's aid against Russia. By the way, I also think that the United States should do more. But Keir Starmer pathetically said, oh, we didn't play a hand in this because he was petrified of his Muslim population.
The United Kingdom played no role in these strikes. Thank you.
He was petrified that these pro-Palestinians, or maybe these Shias, this Muslim bloc, might erupt and start causing riots. He was so scared of them that he threatened the UK's special relationship with America. He's threatening our alliances. And they have the cheek to say that America is breaking away from Western alliances? No. And look, this is how pathetic it is. Even though Keir Starmer was like, we didn't take part in this attack, so please don't strike us. And guess what happened? They still struck British air bases in Cyprus and British interests in the Gulf region. So that tells you one thing, that even though this lefty woke politics, they might want to appease their Muslim voter base, but in the grand scheme of things, because our alliances are so much older, because our interests are so aligned, because we have common shared values, these pathetic lefty woke socialist leaders, they can't damage our alliances. This is the first time when a lot of people in the UK are saying that we should be joining our American brothers. And our Prime Minister, he's only one step behind Keir Starmer. He's not that much better either. Look what he said.
Australia stands with the brave people of Iran in their struggle against what is an oppressive regime. Ayatollah Khamenei was responsible for the regime's ballistic missile and nuclear program, support for armed proxies, and its brutal acts of violence and intimidation against its own people.
He didn't say we stand shoulder to shoulder with our allies, the United States and Israel. No, he said we stand with the people of Iran. Very sheepish. And at the same time, he said we're not going to take any military part in that. Anthony Albanese and Keir Starmer are destroying our most important alliances, especially with the US. Even though we appease China a lot, especially under this government, or the Muslim voter base, they are not our allies. They can never be our allies because we do not share our values with them. We share our values with Canada, with the US, with the UK. We have to stick together, especially in times of war. But these lefty, woke, pathetic losers are destroying our alliances. We have to honor our alliances. We have to stick together because, as I said in my last video, in an unlikely or maybe likely, anything is possible these days, event of a Chinese invasion of Australia, Our entire strategy rests on the fact that we will hold them off until America comes to our aid. Would America come to our aid if a president at the time says that, oh, hang on, you left us alone. You didn't join us in our war against Iran. You were riding on your high horse that, oh, we're going to appease these people. We don't want to play a part in this. So you know what? How about that? You deal with your own enemies yourself. How about America thinks like that at that moment? These Islamists that you're trying to appease in Sydney suburbs, they're not going to come and fight for you. They're not going to come and fight for Australia. They're not going to die for Australia. If anything, they will join the other side. This is absolutely pathetic. Absolutely pathetic.